Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And there's been a poll by Savanta on behalf of the Scotsman newspaper. And I'm going to tell you the results of the poll, but it really won't come as much of a surprise to you. Because the poll asked people what they thought of Humza Yousaf's Hate Crime Act. What do you think the results were? Yep, you're right. We know, don't we? Most people want it repealed, banned, cancelled, taken away and hidden. However, it is only just around half, which goes to show that there seems to be an awful lot of people seem to think that it's a good thing. It's weird. There is already laws in place, or there are, let's speak the correct language here, there are already laws in place that cover just about everything in the Hate Crime Act. Didn't need a specific law. But that's because it wasn't a hate crime act. It was, of course, blasphemy laws. There are no laws against blasphemy in this country. Humza Yousaf knew he couldn't bring in a blasphemy law against Islam alone, so tried to enshroud it within a grander scheme, and he called it the Hate Crime Act. It was unnecessary, and we've all seen it for what it is. So yes, most people want it to be cast out. We'll have a look at the numbers, we'll have a look at the report, but I think most people are right. Let's take a look. So, Hate Crime Act. Half of Scots believe the legislation should be repealed, a poll shows. It's actually slightly over half when you look at the numbers. A poll by Savanta for the Scotsman found just 36% thought the Hate Crime Act should remain law. You have to wonder why. Why on earth they think that this thing should remain in law? Are they actually wanting an Islamic blasphemy law? Seems odd. Half of Scots believe the Hate Crime Act should be repealed, a new poll for the Scotsman has found. A poll by Savanta found 49% thought the legislation should be repealed, 36% said it should remain, and 15% did not know. But you can divide that between the two. On the same basis, it's over 50% if it actually came to it. And certainly, of those who expressed an opinion, it's significantly more. The research showed a generational and gender divide over the issue, with older people and men more likely to want the law scrapped. That's because older people tend to be wiser and men tend to be more in the position of knowing that it's a load of old bollocks, whereas women tend to think it's going to save them because look at me, I'm a weak protected woman and there's no laws in place to protect me, apart from obviously the European Convention on Human Rights and the 2010 Equality Act that they probably weren't questioned about in the survey. It came as the number of hate crime complaints reported to police reached 10,000. 10,000. That's 10,000 cases the police have had to investigate because Humza Yousaf had his orders from the mosque to create the blasphemy law. The Hate Crime and Public Order Scotland Act took effect from April 1st, with critics raising concerns over its potential impact on the freedom of expression. Of course it is. If you are limited to what you say because, you've offended somebody's hurty fee-fees, then, tough. You've got to keep your mouth shut. You're not allowed to express yourself. That's the problem, isn't it? But in actual fact, it shouldn't be. There is no law that says you cannot be offended. You should be... Not only should being offensive be allowed, it should almost be obligatory. One only incites change when one is offensive. Lord Hope of Craighead, one of Scotland's most senior legal figures, previously condemned the Act as unworkable. But former First Minister Humza Yousaf accused some opponents of spreading misinformation about the legislation. By misinformation, he meant, stop reading what the law actually says and telling people. Last month, the Tories launched a failed bid to ditch the law, claiming it was placing an intolerable strain on Scotland's overstretched police. The new poll found men, 56%, were more likely to believe the Hate Crime Act should be repealed than women at 43%. Those aged 55 or over were also substantially more likely, 62%, to think the Act should be repealed than those aged 16 to 34, 34%. But then that was always going to be. The older you get, the wiser you become. A total of 74% of those who voted Conservative in the 2019 general election said the legislation should be repealed, compared to just 41% of SNP voters. Well, you can ignore white SNP voters say, because after all, we know very low IQs. 46% of Labour voters. I say nothing. Controversy has also focused on the police practice of recording non-crime hate incidents, which is now actually illegal, and they're still doing it, and they still have it promoted on their website, but actually it's been found in court to breach the European Convention on Human Rights and mustn't be done. It's a bugger, that, isn't it? This is when a complainant does not meet a criminal threshold but is perceived to be motivated by malice. Well, of course, if you say something it's motivated by malice, doesn't mean it's a hate crime, doesn't mean it's ill will because of someone's colour, race, religion, etc. It's just simply, you've opened your mouth and you said something really stupid, you idiot. You know, only other words can be used. More Scots believe the police should record these than not, while 17% did not know. Most Scots want non-crime hate incidents to be recorded, even though now they're illegal. Wow. Goes to show that the education system in Scotland really is failing, isn't it? Anyway, again, there were also divisions along political lines. 25% of those who voted Tory thought the police should record non-crime hate incidents. 66% who said they should not. Meanwhile, 54% of SNP voters backed such incidents being recorded, compared to 31% who did not. Unbelievable, isn't it? All these people saying, yes, do please carry on with an illegal act that breaches the European Convention on Human Rights. I want my name on a database somewhere because I said something that upsets someone's hurty fee-fees. Oh yeah, of course I won't be able to get a job. When they go and check and I'm on that hate register, I lose my job or I won't be able to get a job. But that's fine. This shows why stupid people should be given no credence and should maybe not be allowed to vote. Chris Hopkins, Political Research Director at Savanta, said, our research suggests that gender and generational divide in Scottish public views towards the Hate Crime Act. Of course, like I say, the older you are, the wiser you are, the better. Simply, you perceive the problems ahead. We've lived long enough, us oldies, we've lived long lives. We know, we've lived through our own mistakes. We've seen the mistakes of others. You can't tell them because they go, oh, you're just an old wanker. You know, what do you know? Damn sight more than you, son. Anyway, just goes on, just putting there. But yeah, at least we got to the point where just over half actually want the Hate Crime Act repealed. Just. There should perhaps be a referendum on it. And at that point, of course, the Hate Crime Act would be repealed. But you have to ask the wisdom of those who think it's a good thing. You want your name on a secret register that they don't tell you that you're on, and that later on in life you may find difficulties because your name is on that register. There's no appeals process to get yourself off that register, and the very fact that that register exists has been shown to be illegal, and they still want it. Do better, Scotland. Seriously, do better. Coming up. The comedian George Carlin once said, if you think how dumb the average person is, be very afraid, because half the world are even more stupid than that. And he's right. And we know the half that are more stupid. They vote SNP. How dumb do you have to be? It's weird, isn't it? Anyway, we'll finish there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, and if you want to go and make a hate complaint, knock yourself out. I don't care. Bye.